Hey guys, so today we're going to be discussing the future. We're going to review the future tense, the simple future, so that we can conjugate it. And then we're going to be talking about technology and our predictions and some false predictions that exist. And so we're going to be working a little bit with a worksheet. I just have to find it. So yeah, today's class is more discussion based. And so what we're doing is we're going to be making predictions for the future. That's our goal. That's what we'll end with. So we'll warm up with what is the future tense, how can we conjugate it, how can we use it. We'll take a look at a good website, and I'll post that in Verbling chat. Okay. So if you don't know how to speak in the future, you will after this class. All right. And so the website we're going to be working with in the beginning, I'll go to screen share. Okay. So it looks like this. And so we're going to be talking about the future. So not today, but tomorrow, or 3 weeks from now, or 100 years from now. Okay. We're going to see how we can conjugate it with some examples, and they give us a formula. Okay, so the first part of class, the first 15 minutes, once people join, is just a small grammar review so that we understand the future tense. And we're not going to go through the whole website. As you can see, there are a lot. Okay, but we're only going to do a few sections. So the first part right here, and then we're going to express a prediction, okay, so that we can understand what to do in class. All right, so welcome. All right, and the worksheet we're going to be working with is this, and I don't think I've uploaded it, and that's because you really don't need it. So I can post whatever we need, the wrong predictions, okay? But what we're going to be working with are these questions more. So more speaking than anything else, the last part of class. All right. So welcome, guys. And so we only have a few people in class, so if you want to join and just get practice speaking, today's class is a good one. All right. Okay. All right, so welcome, guys. Does anyone here know how to conjugate the future tense in English? So when you want to say something in the future, how do you say it?
To have the future, we use the will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we use will plus the verb.
Auxiliary will.
Mm-hmm. So why don't we go to this website, and I'll post the link again in our class chat. All right, and we'll all go to this website and just take a look at it. And we'll probably do an exercise just to get a little bit of practice. Okay, there are some exercises at the bottom. So is anyone having any problems getting to this website?
No.
No, I download it.
Okay, awesome. Would someone like to start reading this paragraph, the simple future?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Simple future has two different forms in English, will and be going to. Although the two forms can sometimes be used interchangeably, They often express two very different meanings. These different meanings might seem too abstract at first, but with time and practice the difference will become clear. Both will and be going to refer to specific time in the future.
Good. So what they tell us here is that when we're speaking in the future, one form is will plus the verb, and that is what Adela told us. But the next one we can use, it depends on the situation, is be going to. They tell us sometimes be going to and will plus the verb mean the same thing, but sometimes they have different meanings. But when we make predictions, which is what we're going to do, these formulas mean the same thing, and we'll see that. Right? So would anyone like to read the examples for us? The examples of the form will. At all? So what about Ali Reza? Could you read this part for us? Form will.
Yeah.
Okay, so Myrna, you can.
From will plus verb. Examples: you will help him later. Will you help him later? You will not help him later.
Okay, so the first one is the future, and we're addressing someone. The second one is a question.
Yeah.
So when we have questions, we have to invert. The verb goes first, not the subject. And the last one is negative.
Negative.
Good. And can someone read? Anyone want to read the form be going to?
Form?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, so why don't we give Adela a chance?
Form be going to, am is are plus going to plus verb. Example, you are going to meet Jane tonight. Are you going to meet Jane tonight? You are not going to meet Jane tonight.
Good. All right, and so right here, when we take a look, am is are. That's the present of the verb to be, right? And then we have going to, and then we have the verb we're going to use.
Infinitive.
Yeah, the infinitive. And you were in my class yesterday, Myrna, for the infinitive. So yay, good. All right. And once again, we have the present, the future. Then we have a question. And then at the end, we have the negative. Right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go down to use number 4, will or be going to express a prediction. Because that's what we're going to be discussing today. We're going to be talking about our predictions for the future, for technology, for the world, for our societies. And we're going to be talking about predictions that were made in the past. Did they come true or were they wrong? All right. And so would anyone be interested in reading use 4, will or be going to? All right, let's see, who do we have in class? So Manuel, would you be willing to read for us? Okay. What about Igor?
Okay.
Awesome.
Both will and be going to can express the idea of a general prediction about the future. Predictions are guesses about what might happen in the future in prediction sentences. The subject usually has a little control over the future and therefore uses one free do not apply. Apply?
Apply.
Apply. In the following examples, there is no difference in the meaning. Examples. The year 2222, how to reduce it?
2222, or to make it easy, 2222.
The year 2222 will be a very interesting year. The year 2222 is going to be a very interesting year. John Smith will be the next president. John Smith is going to be the next president. The movie Zenith
Is it?
will win several Academy Awards. The movie The Need is going to win several Academy Awards.
Okay. So in the beginning, remember we said will and be going to might not mean the same thing, but when we make a prediction, we can use them interchangeably. So it means we can use will plus the verb or is going to be. Does everyone understand? Or does anyone have questions about that?
No.
So, where we can use going to, and what cases we can use going to?
So we're going to only take a look at making a prediction. So we can use it in expressing a prediction. I didn't want to do the other ones because it would be too much grammar. But if you take a look, express number 3, use number 3, making plans. Okay. And that's the only one they use. So be going to is going to be used for making plans and expressing predictions. Okay.
So you know about your plan, and you say about this plan to other people, to another person, for example.
So the example is, he is going to spend his vacation in Hawaii.
So we know at the start that he's going. That's why we say he's going to, but not will. He will spend.
And when are we going to meet each other tonight? Because we wouldn't say when will we. We can also say when will we meet each other tonight, but you won't hear that as often as when are we going to meet each other tonight.
Because you spoke about this meeting, yes or no? Why we're going to, but not will?
It's because we're expressing what time, like the response is we are going to meet at 6 p.m. So you're giving, you're asking for a specific time. You can also say when will we meet, but when will we meet? You need the action. So when are we going to? You know, like when are you going to get motivated to come and meet me? Like when will you finish work to come and meet me? So we can go together. That's why. And this one is a prediction. That's why we can use it. I'm going to be an actor when I grow up. Okay.
I learned in another class about this will going to, that going to is used to when you something think about and you say this idea. So you have a plan, like a plan.
Yeah.
For example, I want to be an actor, and you say I'm going to be an actor. You are sure that you will be kind of sure that you
Exactly.
will be an actor.
It says to express something that is a plan. So either a prediction. So this one's a prediction. This is a plan. When are we going to meet each other tonight? A plan for the night at a specific time. Okay, and it expresses the idea that a person intends to do something in the future. So the idea that it's not just a prediction, you're motivated and you're going to attempt to do it. And it doesn't matter, it says if it's realistic or not. Okay, so it just means that you're going to try to do it. So yeah. And that's different than a prediction, all right? Because in our predictions, we don't have to try to complete them. We can make predictions about anything, and we'll see what people made predictions about. So what I want to do is to take a look at will and be going to, verb tense exercise 18. So if we take a look at the bottom, we can just get a few minutes of practice. Okay. All right. So is everyone on this exercise?
Yes.
All right, and we'll see how well we do. All right. So would anyone like to read number 1 for us? The part A.
Why are you holding a piece of paper? I will write a letter to my friends back home in Texas.
I'm going to.
Yeah, so
Because he called a piece of paper. You think about this.
yeah, so it is, I am going to write a letter back home to my friends in Texas, which means the action is going to be completed, I guess is another way to put it. So he is going to write the letter. All right, he's not just saying he is, he's actually going to complete the action. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So what about number 2? Could anyone read part A for us?
I will get
Okay.
I will get you a cup of coffee, but you get the cup.
Yeah, so I'm about to fall asleep. I need to wake up.
I will get
Yeah, I will get. Good.
But why I'm not, I'm going to get you a cup of coffee.
That also works here as well. This is just shorter. Here, I will get works interchangeably. They told us that I am going to and will plus the verb can work both ways. Okay. So I will get you a cup of coffee. That will wake you up. And we also know that because if we take a look at the end of the exercise right here, so most likely we have to parallel it. So the structure they use here, we can use a parallel. But I'm going to get you a cup of coffee is also grammatically correct. Just in this exercise, we see the second sentence, that will wake you up. All right.
Okay.
What about number 3?
I can't hear the television. I'll turn it up so you can't hear it.
Okay, so I turn
will.
is the present.
No, I will turn. I'll.
Yeah, so I will
The
turn it up
contraction.
so you can hear it. And then
I'm
what's,
going to.
yeah, I'm going to turn it up so you can hear it. Yeah, so either one works here. All right, but I'm going to put this one because it's going to complete the action. They are actually going to turn the television up, the volume
Okay.
up. All right. What about number 4? Anyone want to try it?
Okay, I will try.
Great.
And hi everybody. We are also excited about our trip next month to France. We are going to visit Paris, Nice, and Grenoble.
Yeah. So we are going to visit Paris, Nice, and Grenoble. And why this is the plans, and we didn't take a look at this section, but you have plans and they are concrete. You're taking a trip, so it's we are going to visit. What about number 5?
Sarah will come to the party. Oliver will be there as well.
Good. We'll be there as well. And number 6?
Ted, it is so hot in the Chet, it is so hot in there. Sarah, I'm going to turn the air conditioning on.
Yeah. So she's going to complete the action right then, just like the television volume.
But for me, it sounds like she sees that it's hot in the room, and she have like in mind to do this. So that's why she say, "I'm going to turn."
Yeah. So it's hot in the room. So the consequence or the reaction is to turn the air conditioning on.
Yes, and she feel this that it's hot in the room. So that's why she say, "I'm going."
What about number 7? Anyone want to give it a try?
I think he will be the next president of United States.
And so this one can be either one because it is a prediction. So I think he will be, or I think he is going to be. So either one for a prediction is correct.
Okay.
Good job. What about number 8? After I graduate?
After I graduate, I am going to attend medical school and become a doctor. I have wanted to be a doctor all my life.
Perfect. I'm going to attend. So after I graduate, I am going to attend. So an action that's going to be completed. They have intentions to do it. All right. And what about number 9?
Excuse me, I need to talk to someone about our hotel room. I'm afraid it is simple too small for people. That man at the service counter will help you.
Yeah. So this one is will help you. Good. So as soon as the weather clears up, anyone want to try number 10?
Yes. As soon as the weather clears up, we are going downtown, down to the beach and go swimming.
We are going to
Walk. Yes.
down to the beach and go swimming. So plans. Once again, plans.
Yes.
Good. All right. And so I have a few answers and a couple of them. But good job. All right. So does anyone have any questions
Yes.
at all? Yes.
How usually speak Native Americans persons? I'm gonna to or I'm going to?
Yeah. So when we speak, we say, it sounds maybe like I'm gonna. You'll hear gonna, Gonna, and that's going turns into gonna for us in America. So
But it's not polite, yeah?
yeah, it's not correct, but it's okay to say. It's kind of one of those things where if you get lazy and you're not going to speak properly, you say it without even thinking. So you say,
Yeah, with friends in outside maybe, but maybe in workplace.
yeah,
you-
not in the workplace so much.
Not in a workplace. If you speak with colleague from about business something.
Yeah, after my nap. So, I mean, if your business setting is more relaxed, then definitely. But if you're in what we call corporate America with a suit and you work on Wall Street, you should speak properly. But if you're with your friends at a bar or you're in a restaurant out to dinner with friends, you know, I'm gonna walk to the beach after my nap. You can say, I'm gonna. And a lot of times people aren't going to notice the difference because for us, we use them interchangeably. So, yeah, I'm going. Definitely what I say, like when I learned my second language, I learned how to speak properly. So I sound very, I sound like a book, if that makes sense. You know, I sound like a French textbook. I sound very proper. So I would recommend speaking as formally as possible. And then when you go and visit the country, you'll notice how certain words are used. So you'll know the situation to use them, and how to use slang. So you'll learn from hearing and conversation when it's okay to use gonna, because it depends on the group you're with. So if that makes sense.
How sounds more natural to speak for non-native speaker? Gonna or going to?
Going to. I would stick with the formal, the proper sentence.
For non-native speaker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's very hard to separate. Yeah, if you used to speak, use the gonna word, it's very hard after say going.
Yeah, exactly. Because gonna is so much easier. So that's why I'm going to enforce. See, I just used it. I'm going to enforce that you use the formal word.
You should pronounce both to be, flexible. Where are you in that situation to use that two words?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think when I speak in English, I don't have to choose my words. So to say, I do so more for verbling, but it's just like you guys, it just comes naturally. But when I speak my second language, I contemplate which words to use.
What's your second language?
French. So I completely understand learning a second language and not knowing the tense or not knowing what slang is okay to use. And sometimes awkward situations happen. So we're going to take a look now. Any other questions about?
And it's same in every state of United States?
What's the same?
The gonna, that phrase, it's same in all states?
So the word is the same, but the situation when you can use it depends on the group. So like I speak that way with my friends, but with my professors, not so much.
Yeah, I got it. Just I want to know in any states that people using gonna or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's same. An example of a word that we don't use everywhere, just in the South, is y'all, and it can be spelled both ways. So that, for example, is a word that you hear under what we call the Mason-Dixon line. So it's the southern part of the U.S. And you will not hear that in the North. And it means you all, which we also do not say in the North. We don't say you all are great. Okay? We
you
say
are great.
You are great, but in the South they say you all are. They say y'all are great.
Y'all great. Like it's same as ALL.
In the North we say you are all great. All right, so we use to be instead. So that's just a difference in slang. And the South, they speak pretty differently down there. So you may have trouble understanding someone from the South of the United States.
Yeah, instead of is not, maybe ain't. Yeah.
So that's just one example. But yeah, good question about the slang. It will depend on your region. And so I think that my accent from the North is one of the easiest to understand. At least that's what my students tell me in here.
Yeah, it's understandable to understand.
Yeah. Good. All right.
And another question: does people from United States speak with every day with idioms?
So do people from the United
Yes.
States?
Do people from United States speak with idioms?
We do, but some of the ones that are cheesy or well known or cliche, people don't use that often. So ones that are very obvious, like it's raining cats and dogs, I think that's probably one of the first ones you'll learn, which means it's pouring, it's raining hard outside. We don't really say that often, but we do use idioms. Like we can say, oh, it's a catch-22. All right. Oh, it's a catch-22. What else do I say?
And what that means is a catch-22.
It means if you do something, okay, so a catch-22, what's an example? It means no matter what, you're kind of going to lose. Like the situation is not going to work out. So a catch-22. Oh, I just had an example.
Like you don't care it's gonna be happen or not. Yeah, it's catch-22.
Well, it's based off the book, and so it's kind of like, okay, if you want to take the bus at 8 o'clock, right, in the morning, it will take you 2 hours to get to your destination, all right? So, but if you take the bus at 7:30, it will take you like an hour and a half. So it's a catch-22. Do I want to get up earlier and save time, or do I want to take more time and get sleep in? All right. So it's a catch-22. It's something difficult to choose between, and either situation, the outcome is pretty similar. You know, only 30 minutes. So it's a catch-22. It's a difficult decision.
How you write, spell it, that catch, like catch something is same catch?
So I wrote it in chat. It's a catch-22. So we do use idioms. The other one you may hear is like, it's Murphy's Law. And Murphy's Law is when you're in line at the grocery store and you choose the shortest line, and the shortest line takes you 30 minutes. But the long line with 15 people in it, they're all gone. They all left. So that's Murphy's Law. You chose what you thought would be the shorter line, and it ended up taking much longer. And so Adela says in Spanish it's the same. So yeah, we do use some idioms. Ley de Murphy. Cool. Interesting. I like that.
Yes.
So yeah, we have a few of those as well. But once again, in business, you're not going to hear them as much, but speaking with friends, that's the biggest transition. So understanding what they're telling you.
So idioms used most in the informal speaking.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give you examples of predictions. And I'm going to post them in chat. All right. And so the first one is, I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. So can anyone kind of tell us what that means, a world market for 5 computers at all? And tell us if it's wrong or tell if it's correct. Any ideas?
You read this sentence? Where you read?
So I wrote it in group chat. So I think it's our Google chat, our class chat. And the sentence again, the prediction is, I think there is a world market for maybe 5 computers. So 5 computers. And how many people do we have in class? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 people in class. Do all of you have a computer?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Okay. So we have at least 8 people, plus all of our viewers who have computers. And so what they're telling us, I think there's a world market, which means that I think maybe 5 people will buy a computer. They're completely useless. So is this prediction wrong, or is it correct?
Wrong.
Yeah, so it's wrong. All right, so that's an example of what we're going to be doing with a few of these predictions. Okay, so the next prediction. And so they aren't saying what this object is outright. They're saying heavier than air flying machines are possible. So can anyone tell us what is a heavier than air flying machine? A heavier than air.
Airplane.
Yeah, so airplanes are impossible. That's what this one says. So is that correct or is it wrong?
Where do you read these sentences?
So I'm working with a worksheet that we don't really need in class. I'm posting them in chat, so if you need to read them. This is what I'm working with. I downloaded a worksheet, and so I can go to screen share. We're at this one. And so these are famous quotes by very intelligent people. Okay, so so for example, the first one we read, Thomas Watson, chairman of IBM. Okay, and this one is Lord Kelvin, president of the Royal Society in 1895. So these are predictions people made up about 100 years ago. And so we'll see how true or wrong their predictions were. So are airplanes impossible? That's my question. Are they? So Lord Kelvin tells us heavier than air flying machines are impossible.
Wow, it's a false prediction.
It's false.
Yes, airplane.
We'll take a look at one more. So in the past, silent movies like The Artist were popular. So H.M. Warner from Warner Brothers tells us, who the hell wants to hear actors talk? All right.
False.
Yeah, so it's false.
We want to see, to hear, and to smell, but to smell is impossible.
Okay, I don't know if I want to smell our actors, but yeah,
Just
I want
kidding.
to see and hear them. Yeah, so if we take a look, some of these predictions are completely silly. People from 100 years ago could never imagine what we could do today with technology. And so that's what we're going to be taking a look at. And that's what we're going to do now. And we're going to make some of our own predictions. And we're going to take a look at some people who do make predictions. And those are people who write novels, stories, and television shows. So the next question we're going to work with in class, okay, is what are some films, novels, stories, or TV shows that make predictions about the future? So do you guys know any that that talk about the future? And Adela mentioned robots will be the next race on Earth. So are there any movies about robots at all?
Yes, AI, no? In artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the movie Artificial Intelligence. Can you give us a small summary of the movie? What do they predict?
And this is the 3 laws about robots with the relationship with the human race. A robot is not possible to have to injure a human. This is about this is a trilogy. This is a roman, a science fiction.
Yeah,
Roman.
a science fiction novel.
Yes.
So, Roma?
No,
No.
sorry, novel.
Novel. Good. And so it's a trilogy. All right. So authors make predictions about what will happen in the future. So they're a great example. Also directors. So can you guys name any other movies, novels, stories, or shows that you've watched or read?
Movie
That-
Terminator.
The novel 1984. It was wrote in 1940 something.
Mm-hmm.
Talked about the future. The
And
future
what
that now is the path for us.
And what specifically did 1984 talk about in the future?
I didn't read that novel, but it was about politics, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, does anyone know what 1984 was about?
It was about an authoritarian state or something like that, but I don't know it exactly.
Yeah, so it's about our future future governments and Big Brother. Adela uses the word. So everyone is watched and monitored by the government. And so does anyone in class think that's a possibility, that our governments will become like Big Brother and watch and control us, and we have to live a certain way? So everyone will have, the same access to food, the same clothing, similar living.
No,
No? All right. And why do you say no, Igor?
because this is it's not how to say, it's not democracy when we all the same. So our countries where we live are declared like a democracy country. So we cannot do the same things because it's not right.
Yeah. So right now we can't because a lot of countries are trying to have a democracy or already have a democracy. But if things changed, it's possible. All right. So any other examples?
Yes, a classic example, Terminator movie.
Terminator. Okay,
Yes.
I've never seen Terminator. Can you tell us what it's about?
Oh, it's three parts. I think this movie has, or maybe 4.
Oh wow.
I do not know exactly because I watched only first 2 when I was younger. So and Terminator movie is about that machines will be on the Earth will be, how to say, the main, not people will be how to formulate this.
So machines on Earth, like robots or
Yes, robots.
aliens?
Robots.
Okay.
They will be instead of men. They will be the power on the Earth.
Okay, interesting.
But not about this. I want to say about that in this movie, they predicted that not predicted that we can see invention, and these years made on basis of this movie. Do you know what invention?
No, I don't.
Google Glass. because Terminator in movie see in the eyes information about people. He walks on the street, for example, and he see about people when was born that person, who is it, where he lives, and all information
Okay.
about that person. So Google Maps is the same.
That's also in Iron Man or something like that. That was in a recent movie where if they look through their helmet, it will tell them who the people are, or maybe that was Spider-Man.
But Terminator movie was filmed in 90. It's very old movie. It's 1990 when Arnold Schwarzenegger was younger.
Yeah, I think it was 90s or 80s, somewhere around then. Good. And then Adela mentions a movie. Can you talk about it at all? The Day After Tomorrow?
Yes, it's a film, a movie about climate change.
Yeah. And
It's a prediction, but it's possible.
yeah. And what
Possibility.
happens with this climate change in the movie? Are there a lot of survivors?
This is a warm change, but change to the cold. This is a freeze. City are with glass, snow. Yes, ice. Sorry. Snow is very, very cold. The climate, the temperature is minus 50 or 100 degree. A lot. It's not possible to live in this climate.
Yeah, so what they have happened first is the climate change of tornadoes, and they have tsunamis, and then they go into the ice age. I think that's the word you were looking for, when it gets very, very cold. Even in Mexico, I think they have snow, which is very rare and almost never happens. So they get significant amounts of snow even in Mexico, which is a warm country. So we have an ice age. And they're telling us about the end of the world, more so about the end of our society. So good. Has anyone seen Looking for a Friend for the End of the World with Steve Carell and Keira Knightley? It came out this year.
No.
Okay, so that one, I definitely agree the climate change can happen. I think we can definitely go into another ice age. That is bound to happen. This one, I'm not sure if I believe. This one is about asteroids and how an asteroid, it's a piece of rock from outer space, will collide with Earth and it will destroy Earth. Do you think that's possible? The end of the world? I hear yes. Yeah, so it could be possible. Any other thoughts at all?
It's possible,
In fact, maybe the end.
So go ahead, Begonia, and then we'll go to Igor.
In fact, maybe the end of the world is related with a collision with another planet or something like that, so it's not as strange as we think.
Yeah, it's not as strange as we think. Good. Igor?
It's possible, but it's not possible that in now or in how to say in appropriate in years that will come.
In the future or in the years that will come?
In the early future, yes, it's correct to say.
Okay, in the near future.
Yes, in the near future, because I watched a TV program about that, and they said that once in many years this happens, can happen.
Okay, so the chances of it happening are very rare.
Yes.
The chances of it happening are very rare. Good. Okay. And are there any other ones? What about robots? Do you think robots will be a part of our society? So do you think the technology like an iRobot, I think is one of those movies?
I don't think so.
No? And why is that?
we're not going to let them manage us. It's not the climate change. We can control robots, but not other factors as the climate change, asteroids. So we're not going to let them control us. I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. So that's a good one. So maybe keeping robots more just like machines to do all the labor. Yeah, instead of making them like humans.
Another movie that predicted future is Back to the Future. Do you know this movie?
Yep.
It's a very old movie. I think 1980 was made, or maybe early.
The 80s.
Yes, and they showed us, showed in the past, showed us that could be a flight machine. So now people works on it, on flight machine, and we can see flight machine only like prototype.
Oh, you mean today we see prototypes?
Yes, today, nowadays, we can see prototypes. They are tested, but they are not very mobile, like small. They are big and they need more energy. So they, they work on it.
So you mean like a flying car, like they had in the movie. So flying cars. Okay, and what's the other thing about Back to the Future? They have flying cars, but what else do they do that can definitely never happen?
Travel in the future and in the past.
Yeah, so we call that time travel. And so time travel is one of those things that can definitely never happen. But what about flying cars? Would anyone here like to have a flying car at all? So would you like to fly to work, Igor, instead of driving?
Yes, of course. When this technology will work, I would like to try. But if you go on YouTube, you can write flying cars, and you will see what flying cars we have at the moment. So they are not very good. They are very big.
Yeah. I'm sure with our technology today, they will get smaller and improve them. And so we only have a few more minutes left of class. So would anyone else like to make a prediction? So why don't we start with some predictions? So can anyone predict something that they think will happen in the future? So for instance, I think this one's not very happy. I'm sorry, guys, but as an example, so I think that in the future there will be another problem like the Black Plague. Okay. All right. So the Black Plague killed most of Europe. All right, and it was a disease, and so I think that can happen again. That's one thing I'm pretty sure about.
Why you are sure?
Because, you know, our diseases are changing all of the time, and we've already had a similar outbreak, the swine flu. So I think that this is a possibility, unfortunately. So just to give you an example, so would anyone else like to make a prediction about the future? And remember, you can use, I think that in the future there will be, or there is going to be. So you can use either structure.
I think that in the future there will not be another problem like the Black Plague.
No? All right.
Yes.
So you made the opposite prediction that I did.
Yes. Optimistic prediction.
Optimistic prediction. Hey man, swine flu, that was a pretty big outbreak in the US. So you never know. What about Begonia? Can you make a prediction about the future?
I think that in the future there's going to be another ice age, But that's true. That's not even a prediction. It's scientifically proved. So I don't know.
No, that's a good prediction because even though it's scientifically proven, a lot of people don't believe that that will happen.
It's true. I had a subject when I was at university called the global change, and we studied that. So I think that it's going to happen. So it's not a prediction. It's maybe something that will happen.
And in how many years did your class give us? How many years until the next ice age?
I don't remember because first we have to go to an age that we will have more warm temperatures, and after that we will have another ice age. Okay. So I don't know for how long we will have to wait, but we won't be here. So
yeah, everyone in class will be long gone when the next ice age
and maybe
happens.
First we had we will have another disaster. So we don't know.
Yeah. That's definitely true. Didn't an asteroid hit before the last ice age? And that's what pushed the Earth into its climate change. And Igor says his prediction is that everything will be okay. So yeah, in our lifetime, everything will be okay. I definitely agree. All right. So good job today, guys. I'm going to end